It's never a dull day at the office. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and in this installment of Versus, we're comparing both the British and American versions of the hit television series The Office to see which awkward comedy reigns supreme. And just so you know, a spoiler alert is probably in order.
They are in for a bitter surprise.
Round 1, Office Gags.
Oh, your face! Oh! No, I'm kidding.
people-
No, you're not fired.
Whether you're in Scranton, Pennsylvania, or across the pond, this is one comedy franchise that isn't afraid of a little pranking.
Put my stapler inside a jelly again. That's the third time he's done it. It wasn't even funny the first time.
Among the best gags from the UK edition of The Office is the classic stapler in Jell-O prank, where Gareth's stapler is somehow stuffed into a large plate of Jell-O, much to his dismay.
Eat it out. There's people starving in the world, which I hate. And it's a waste. So, how do you know it's yours?
Because it's got my name on it in Tipex.
Yeah, don't eat it now, then.
Gareth does join in on the fun, however, as he prank calls David Brent.
I like your little beard.
Okay, is that it?
One more thing.
What?
You should wear tighter trousers.
As for David Brent's involvement in Office gags, well, he dances. On the US side of things, they too have their rendition of the stapler and Jell-O gag.
Put my stuff in Jell-O again!
But they've also got tons more, thanks to the ongoing prank war between Jim and Dwight. In fact, WatchMojo has even made a top 10 of their gags alone. Between Dwight from the future, Asian Jim,
But you are not Jim. This is Jim!
Dwight being recruited by the CIA,
You have been compromised. Abort mission. Destroy phone.
or the vending machine debacle,
This is not funny. Why is my stuff in here?
Wow, that's weird. Ooh, $1 for a stapler. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm not paying for my own stuff.
the folks at Dunder Mifflin sure have a sense of humor.
What kind of bear is best?
That's a ridiculous question.
False. Black bear.
So, the American rendition wins this round. Because honestly, who's gonna top Jim impersonating Dwight?
Michael!
Oh, that's funny. Michael!
Winner, the US Office.
Indubitably.
Round 2, Supporting Cast.
Chill out, shall we? Please. You know.
The UK version has 4 solid main cast members, as well as 3 definitive supporting actors. But David Brent is definitely the star of the show.
You will never work in a place like this again. This is brilliant. Fact. Yeah? And you'll never have another boss like me, someone who's basically a chilled-out entertainer.
The general manager of the Slough branch of Warnham Hogg Paper Merchants, he's self-assured, to put it nicely. To put it less nicely, he's arrogant and gets into trouble almost every time he opens his mouth.
Good, a friend that happens to be a boy. I could stay at Dawn's.
No, you couldn't.
Well, I could if I got off at the wrong bus stop.
Working below him at the office are the awkward Gareth Keenan, Tim Canterbury, the smart aleck of the cast, and Don Tinsley, a slightly reserved character and the object of Tim's affection throughout the series. These 4 usually capture the most laughs. However, the equation wouldn't be complete without the Warnham Hogg employees.
My baby's gone, she's gone, yeah. My baby's gone, she's gone, yeah.
Meredith. I brought all your friends from the office, dear.
Meanwhile, in the American version, there's a world of characters at Dunder Mifflin outside of Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute, Jim Halpert, and Pam Beasley. And more often than not, they can steal the show. Consider personalities like Stanley, Kelly, Meredith, and Kevin, whose idiosyncrasies and interactions provide us with constant laughs.
I'm serious about this stuff. I'm up the night before, pressing garlic and dicing whole tomatoes.
Because the US show lasted 9 seasons to the UK's 2, employees at Dunder Mifflin came and went, whether they worked upstairs or in the warehouse.
It's serious down there. We do dangerous stuff, man. This is shenanigans, foolishness.
But all were allowed the time to develop into their own, likely flawed characters. Well, except Toby. Everybody hates that guy.
And if I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and Toby, I would shoot Toby twice.
Sometimes it's tough to choose between quality and quantity, but fortunately in this case we don't have to. The US version has both. Point to the Americans. Winner, the US office.
This was epic.
My contribution.
Oh, thank you. Where do you want your kiss?
Round 3. Tim and Don versus Jim and Pam. Ah, the office couples. Tim and Don don't actually get together until one of the last scenes of the series. But they have enough chemistry with each other to at least get the viewer to believe that they should be together, even if Don has a relationship with another character, Lee.
Careful, she's got a fiance.
Not anymore.
Their growing friendship blossoms throughout the series, beginning as an innocent flirtation, moving on to awkward mutual attraction, and following a declaration of love, settling into a deep depression.
Dawn was a ray of sunshine in my life, and it meant a lot. But if I'm really being honest, I never really thought it would have a happy ending.
Fortunately for fans of the happy ending, Tim and Don do get theirs.
Listen, Jim.
In the American version, the Jim and Pam relationship is more developed than Tim and Don's, but it's a little too drawn out over the show's 9 seasons.
I'm in love with you.
What?
I'm really sorry if that's weird for you to hear, but I needed you to hear it.
While they begin much the same way, with Pam engaged to someone else and Jim admiring the cute receptionist from afar, these relationships differ in how they evolve. For Jim and Pam, there's a lot of cliched sitcom will they or won't they drama for the first several seasons of the show. And once they actually become a married couple, their storylines are arguably less interesting, and certainly less funny. Even though we do love Jim and Pam's relationship, we have to give this one to the original Office romance. So Tim and Don from The Office UK take this round. Winner, the UK Office. Round 4, David Brent versus Michael Scott. In the battle of which Office goofball reigns supreme, we begin with David Brent. Aside from being arrogant and full of himself, he is an extremely silly and ridiculous human being, to the horror of his fellow co-workers, but to the amusement of audiences.
Just remember...
Like we said, Brent is the uncomfortable heart of this so awkward it's sometimes hard to watch show. But even so, his heart's in the right place. Mostly.
I think you'll care when I tell you what the complaint is. I think there's been a rape up there.
He just wants to be a good boss to his employees, but he's oblivious to the way they really see him.
You just want to make it peg. Wow. Yeah. Just run around a bit.
It's Michael Scott.
Meanwhile, we can't deny that Michael's unprofessionalism and immaturity regularly create a number of hilarious moments.
Come on, Michael, you're interrupting.
You're kidding me! God! You say radon is silent but deadly, and then you expect me not to make farting noises with my mouth? What is this?
Like David, Michael is just trying to lead his troops and be a friend to his employees.
Why are you giggling? Is this a joke? Michael, is this...
However, he is slightly more successful in his attempts.
Parkour! Michael, parkour! Parkour! Extreme! Parkour! Parkour!
Even so, without the delusional David Brent, there would be no Michael Scott. And that is something we need to take into account.
I take care of my kids! Wait. Always want credit for something they're supposed to do!
In the end, David Brent totally ups the cringe factor on the unskilled boss character, and is too funny to not win this round.
Well, I did GCSEs and A-levels, and...
Too boring. Tell me about yourself.
Winner, the UK Office.
I better warn you now, that was me on a 7, so wait to see me on a 9 or 10, isn't it? But, she said to be wearing a white chiffon scarf to help me spot her, so, oh, for
David?
Round 5, final episode. For the tiebreaker, we review the final episodes of each series. After 2 seasons, the UK Office ended with a 2-part Christmas special where David Brent gets on with his life. sorta, after his job is made redundant by trying his hand at a music career, going on dates, and visiting his old office.
Do you mind black ones?
No, all equal.
Because they've sent you 3 of them.
So that is a lot, isn't it?
Meanwhile, the so far unresolved Tim and Dawn storyline sees Dawn leave Lee and the United States to finally be with Tim. In both cases, it's a nice way to end the show, but we can't help but feel we wanted more from the series.
How would you like to be remembered?
Simply as the man who put a smile on the face of all who he met.
Do you find that your life feels pointless now that nobody's actually filming you anymore?
Yes.
In the US version, the series wraps up the mockumentary by catching up with almost everybody from the past 9 years, bringing the characters together one last time for a panel about the show, as well as Dwight and Angela's wedding.
I now pronounce you man und wife.
After being absent for the show's final seasons, Michael Scott makes an appearance just in time for the nuptials, and even cracks one of his trademark jokes.
Michael, I can't believe you came. That's what she said.
Ultimately, we see that everyone rides off happily into the sunset, as bizarre as the resolutions may be in some cases. But that's all we've ever wanted from our sitcom endings.
There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point?
While both series tie up any loose ends that may have been lingering, we have to give this round to the US version for its fully fleshed out and heartwarming closer.
I feel like all my kids grew up and then they married each other. It's every parent's dream.
Winner, the US office.
And that's an amazing gift.
Verdict. Both versions of The Office are great. In fact, the winner in all of this is the show's creator, Ricky Gervais, who had a hand in both versions.
Comedy is a place where the mind goes to tickle itself. That's what she said.
But overall, partially because it had far more seasons to develop the characters, we have to say that the American version was the more successful sitcom, winning by a score of 3-2.
And if you have a problem with that, then you can talk to our complaint department. It's a trash can.
Do you agree with our verdict?
Good. Well done. Well done again. Congratulations.
Be sure to debate us in the comments and subscribe to WatchMojo.com for more entertaining versus battles published every day.
We did it!